Hello, this is Kurt Frankum with Leading LDS with my screenshot video here, and I want to show you how to use Asana, most specifically how to use Asana to maybe coordinate ward callings. Now this can be done on a stake level, on a ward or branch level, and it's really quite slick. I actually use it this way, and I can offer additional training or specific questions in the future. I'm more than happy to help to get you up and running, but this has saved us hours of meeting time in my ward as we discuss callings and who should go where and who's done what. And now I would love to show you the actual Asana workspace that I use with my bishopric, but there's just too much confidential information, and I'm sure my ward would not appreciate me sharing their names and calling. So nonetheless, I've just sort of created this mock workspace so that I can at least show you how it works. So I've created here new callings. This is the new calling template. So just a quick rundown on how Asana works is there are projects. So you create a project by clicking here. And so I've created a ward callings project, or this could be stake callings if this is a stake presidency that's doing it. And you're going to have a lot of different projects. So we have, this is where I do my meetings project for bishopric agendas. We have a project for, if we have a ward Christmas party, well, we're going to create a project for that and assign people to it. And it makes it really easy to coordinate. So this one obviously is the ward callings project, and then within projects there are tasks. So in this column here is where you have tasks listed, and then when you click on each task it brings up the details of the task here, and each task can have subtasks, okay, because obviously a new calling, there's various things that need to take place, little tasks, in order to complete the task of calling people, okay, and each task has somebody, you can assign it to somebody, obviously create a due date, and the rest are pretty self-explanatory. So let me run through this and just show you pretty straightforward how we use this and why it's valuable. So I have this task I create. It's just a template. Okay, so let's say, for example, the primary president emails me as their bishop and says, all right, bishop, I want to call Sister Wixom as my replacement, or I want to call a new primary instructor, and here's the name that I would like to submit. Okay, and so let's say, great, I'm going to take that to the bishopric, and we're going to discuss that. So I come into Asana, I go to new callings, and then on this drop down, you can make a copy of the task. So I click on that, and then let's say it's Brother and Sister Jones are going to be primary instructors, okay? And then we duplicate all these items on the task and do create new task. Now in the template, it's very important that, and I haven't done this just because it's, it's just a mock example here, but down here under followers, you want to add your complete bishopric or stake presidency or whatever presidency, whoever is involved in this, and you add all those as followers here. So every time you duplicate this task, you don't have to add them again to this task that has been created. All right, so it created that task, gave me a little prompt here that I can close. It gave me this task, Brother and Sister Jones, primary instructor. All right, so then this is where, all the followers, usually my bishopric is all added as followers. Similar to any social media platform, and then we start discussing it. So I may say, what are your thoughts on this? And then hit comment, okay? And then that will alert all the other bishopric that I have put up a new task with Brother and Sister Jones as primary instructors. And then we're going to have a dialogue here going back and forth. Maybe a counselor would say, oh, well, actually, he just started a master's program and is going to be really busy, and so I'm not sure if that'll work schedule-wise. And then, I may respond, so actually I talked to him about that. He actually is really anxious to get involved in the ward, and this may be a good Sunday calling for him. And so we may go back and forth on that. And the nice thing about that, again, we're not trying to seek revelation through this innocuous Asana tool, but we're using it to start the dialogue. So now when we go to the meeting, that dialogue has already taken place, and then we can really kind of finish off, think about it, and pray about it, and make a decision, right? But this has gotten so far. Or sometimes I use it, well, I'll make a new calling. I'll come here and make a copy, and I'll say we need a ward mission leader, and I don't know who that's going to be, but I want to discuss it as a bishopric. So instead of having them, come in for a bishopric meeting, my counselors, and we discuss every name, we've got the word list and go through it, which just takes a lot of time. That can already be done because we've come here and said, what about Brother Jim? All right. And we can comment that and go back and forth. And, my counselors may give 3 names, 2 names, and then we get down to maybe 1 or 2 that we can then take to that meeting, the bishopric meeting, and discuss in more detail as to if that's going to be a good fit or not. Okay. And so that dialogue, that discussion's already taken place by the time you sit down in the meeting. Okay. So then from here, we'll go back to this task. And from here, you can, we've decided, okay, I'm good with this. Brother and Sister Jones seem like a great fit. We've had our meeting. Maybe we prayed about it. However you go about that. And then here I can assign to my executive secretary. I'll put his name in there, and then he's assigned to the subtask because he's going to be the one actually picking up the call and calling the person in so that we can extend the calling. Okay. And then I usually give him the due date of, let's say, we want to give them the due date of the Saturday before, so you can call them on a Saturday, get them to come in on Sunday. The bishopric meets with them. Okay, perfect. He's done that. He checks it off. See, now everybody knows where we're at. Okay, calling a person to be released. And so the executive secretary, I assign that to him right up front. And obviously I'm assigning these, we don't have to, they don't have to go in order, right, in order to assign them. So I've assigned that to the executive secretary. Perfect. Saturday night, he calls in the couple that's being released as primary instructors, or maybe they've moved or are moving. And then they come in Sunday morning. A member of the bishopric meets with them. Okay, I met with them and they accepted. Click. All right, or they didn't accept, and I'm going to come down to the comments here and tell you why. All right, so we'll say they accepted, and then the person that came in got released. Perfect, because obviously you don't want to get to the lectern and sacrament meeting and get ready to call someone to a calling if you haven't released the person. So with this, everybody's on the same page saying, yes, this person was released. All right, we go to sacrament meeting. It's sustained. Perfect. I sustained them as I conducted sacrament meeting, and now the setting apart. And bishoprics or stake presidencies know this. People can go and do their calling without getting set apart, right? And it's just kind of this administrative / spiritual thing that needs to take place, but it's hard to keep track of at times, who's been set apart or not. So we put it in this checklist on here so we know who needs to be set apart. And then I assign this to my clerk. They've been set apart, assign it to the clerk. We need to update it in MLS on the church website or on the church clerk's office computer. Boom, got it done. Now my phone's ringing. Anyway, so they've been. All right, perfect. They've been updated in MLS, so then we can mark this one complete. We're done as a bishopric. It disappears from the list, and then we can move on to the other callings, the ward mission leader and so forth. So this is just one small aspect of how I use Asana. There's many ways. We use it for meeting agendas. We use it to just coordinate, making sure everybody's doing what's expected of them. As a bishop, someone may come to me with an issue from the young men's organization, right? And they say, this is the problem, Bishop. We need to get this fixed. So I pull out my phone and make a quick note in Asana and assign it to my my first counselor who's over the young men's, right? And then he can carry out and follow up, and we can keep everybody on tabs. And then that way we get to bishopric meeting. There's a lot less fluff to talk about because we've already got the details, a lot of the superficial details handled in Asana. All right, pretty cool. It has really helped me as far as how I run the administrative tasks as a bishop, and I would love to, if you're intrigued by this, you want to set a time for me to do a training, via the magic of Skype or whatever. Get your bishopric or young men's presidency, whatever you want to do, in a room, and I'd be happy to Skype and do that, or do larger trainings that maybe lots of people can tune in, kind of a webinar setting, and I can show you the magic of Asana. But it's crucial. I don't know how I would really run things without it. So there's your first lesson on Asana, using it to handle the flow of new callings.